We're talking to Mike Breen. Breen is doing his 14th NBA Finals. What were you like on your first NBA Finals? You remember?
It's probably the most nervous I've ever been in my life. Prior to the finals, I had heard from several people above that I needed to take a different approach because many of the viewers who watched the finals had really never watched the NBA. There were many casual viewers who didn't know a lot. So I was told I had to do a little more of a generic explaining type of presentation. And that just threw me for a loop. So I know this, I'm probably exaggerating this, but I felt like I was saying things when a guy got fouled. I would say, well, now he'll go to something called the free throw line. Well, he'll take 2 attempts. And
it's called the charity stripe.
I was so nervous, and I did the game, fortunately, with Hubie Brown, and I had done so many games with Hubie. And after the first time out, he could sense that I was, like, sideways, and he grabbed my arm. And he looked me in the eye, and he said, "Kid," he says, "just do what you always do." And it completely relaxed me. And after that, I stopped explaining silly things. So that's how nervous I was.
But you go from, during the regular season, you call the Knicks games, and you have some of the most intelligent basketball fans watching Knicks games, not running the Knicks, but watching the Knicks games. And then you go to the NBA Finals where you have to be a little bit, more of an explainer there. That's got to be a tough transition.
You know what? It's the hardest part of it because you don't want to insult the people who've been there all year. But at the same time, there are certain things that you do need to explain. There are certain players who, a lot of people out there have no idea of their history. So it's a way of doing it without insulting the people that know everything, because you drive those fans, and those are the fans that are, the rabid fans that you want to take care of too. So you throw in phrases like, for those of you who have not heard, or for those of you who don't know, just at least appease them so they're not throwing things at their television and screaming at you. Will you stop stating the obvious, you idiot? because you do have to find the balance. That's probably the hardest part.
My students at the broadcasting school that I have, there are play-by-play, or students who want to do play-by-play, and I didn't like my voice doing play-by-play. I don't know. And I was comparing myself to the greats of the game, so I couldn't find my voice. And I don't know if that sounds strange to you, though, Mike, but how do you find your voice? If you're telling students who want to do play-by-play, what is your voice, and how do you know if you found it?
I don't think, at least for me, I can only speak for myself, I don't think you're ever fully comfortable with how you sound. There's always something that bothers you about how you sound, and you don't think it's right. What I've always done in terms of, trying to critique myself or listen for things, I've always found there's a handful of people that I rely on who all have listened to a game, and I know they're going to tell me the truth. They're not just going to say, "Hey, you did a great job last night." People that some of are in the industry, some people are just fans who watch games at home. These are close friends who I rely on to tell me the truth about my voice, about my presentation, stuff like that have been really helpful. Because I think it's hard to critique yourself sometimes along those lines. What I do find is I'm enjoying my voice more now because my hearing is going, so I don't quite hear it as well as I used to.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune into Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV. Stream for free on BR Live or download the Dan Patrick Show app.